Hello and welcome to the aForm Show, the premier podcast for all things architecture and design across the MENA region. Welcome to your tribe. Hello and welcome to the show, everyone. Today's guest is Sotiris Tsoulos, co-founder and managing partner of TTZ Group. Together with his co-founder and partner, Despina Tampakopoulou, Sotiris has established TTZ Group in 2021, an internationally recognized practice known for its thoughtful, context-driven approach to design. With a strong portfolio spanning master planning, mixed-use developments, residential projects, and urban regeneration across the MENA region and beyond, TTZ Group brings a clear architectural vision shaped by both technical precision and cultural sensitivity. Under their leadership, the practice has grown to a 30-plus person team, consistently balancing design innovation with a deep respect for place and community. Needless to say, we are super excited to have him on the show. So without further ado, let's get into it. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for coming to me, actually. And I'm also very excited that you're here.
Yeah, that's something which I think a lot of our listeners don't get. We actually take the show to our guests. Just want to point that out.
Extremely convenient, I have to say. Thank you so much. Yeah.
So I think for people who maybe have not heard of TTZ, have not heard of you, if we can maybe start with what is TTZ? Why did you form it? What's your vision for it?
Maybe they heard of TTZ because we use the English pronunciation of the alphabet. But anyway, it's a joke. So the founding of TTZ happened in the middle of COVID almost. It was a one-way street. So both myself and Despina, for many years, we either had our own offices or we were running practices around the world or here in the Middle East. And in every case, we ran the places like they belong to us. So eventually, 5 years ago, we came to a point we were both directors. I was design director in RMGM for many years, and Despina was a construction director. So we decided to move on and try ourselves again in this environment. And the reality is that we chose UAE for that and not Greece. We're both Greeks, obviously. And it was a deliberate choice. We understand our capacity as architects. We have combined, 60 years experience or something like that, and international as well. So we knew that Greece was too small to actually accommodate our capability. And we also know and love UAE. And we knew that from here, we could have a very good springboard to work abroad if needed, and also focus our power and our thought and our work and whatever we can offer in this country specifically. So I'm mentioning this in the beginning of the conversation. I think we will talk about it again, but we are very deliberate in projects that we do, in the way we do them. And we're very deliberate and careful with the people we work with, whether they are consultants or our staff or subs or above us as lead consultants maybe, but also our clients. And that's why we don't have a gigantic pool of clients, but we have a few and very, very precious and good clients that we all know because they're big developers and we appreciate their business, they appreciate ours. And this is how we move on.
Very cool. Very cool. I must say though, when we did our research, typically when we speak to people who have sort of started off their own firm, there seem to be a lot of challenges that they face because it's normally the first time that they're doing such an endeavor. But I think in your case, you have done this a couple of times over.
Yeah, well, failure is my favorite sport.
We're a master at it.
Yeah, well, whoever says that he hasn't failed or she hasn't failed is obviously a liar or they haven't tried hard enough. I failed successfully 3-4 times in my life. I opened up an office in Greece, the famous Greek crisis, destroyed all my effort there. That was so many lessons learned on crisis number one. Then I picked up myself, came to Dubai, worked, was transferred to Turkey. In Turkey, I actually became managing partner of RMGM Istanbul. And again, 2018, I had to close the office and because the crisis hit Turkey. So I had to come here. And again, 2 years as an employee again, and not as a business owner. And then again, from the beginning, COVID. And then, failure is the route to progress. And of course, there are successes in the meantime. We do survive, we do breathe in the morning and wake up. But I don't see the general notion of failure. I don't see it anymore. I have absolutely no fear about whatever the future holds. I know how I'm going to feel comfortable facing it because we did it so many times. So if you've been in battle, this is
just another battle.
That's another day. Yeah. And the same, of course, Despina has also pushed forward all these years and she worked extremely hard. She was working for CCC many years, and in Greece, she had her own business and she came here. So we sort of have similar backgrounds in terms of struggling and going through walls to do the best and to, stand up for our beliefs in this profession, because we see it somehow it's like a calling. It's not like a profession per se. It's never, for us, it was never a financial situation. It was, or a business. Of course, it has to be a business because you have to run, you pay people, you have, you saw outside, they have 30 people. We have to make sure they're all safe and secured. But all this failure teaches you things. And that's why I believe that it was very hard, but much more steady, the progress and that TTZ had, that started off in a small office in Sheraton Grand in 2021 with 3 people. And every year, 4, 5, 6, 7, up to 30, 32 that we are right now today.
Wow. That's actually, I was telling you off air, that's a serious size studio. You can't really call yourself a boutique anymore, but are you, in your mind, do you think that you're running this like a medium to large firm?
Yeah, since I think I'm talking most of the people that are listening to this podcast are professionals. Maybe I can share some wisdom that somebody shared with me before. There are 3 or 4 types of offices and sizes of offices. The one is the standard office, like 2-3 people and in a kitchen or in a small office. Cafe, yeah. Cafe, not anymore, but traditionally, there were the architect, the engineer, and a couple of friends, and they pulled together and they did everything. So all of them had to play all the positions in the court and deal with it. Authorities, supervision, project management, blah, blah, blah. This is how most of Southern Europe and many parts of the world start and maybe finish also their careers. So as a Greek, this is how we start. You start always 1-2 people, personnel, blah, blah, blah. This is a very easy office to run, actually, because profits and salaries are one thing. If you make a profit, you made your money. If you didn't make profit, you didn't make your money. So it's a corner shop, effectively. Right. Then you move to the second layer, which is 10 to 12 people, which is a bit, you could be called a boutique office. Don't forget that any project would not require, or concept schematic, let's say, will not require more than 10 people. So you can actually get a big project. You can get 50,000 square meters if they exist in your market. But that's a business already. So this needs setup, blah, blah, blah. Above 10, 12 people, you start needing secretaries, you start needing cleaning ladies, you start needing, the overhead enters.
HR.
Yeah, the HR. So maybe not in HR, but, movements of overhead start entering your P&L that you need to take care and you need to price. So step number 1, 2, 3 people. Step number 2, 10, 12, up to 13. And then you move into the region of a real business, which is above 14, 15, all the way to 35. And that's a magic number. Yeah. From 35, if you're over 35, you can go to 120 practically with the same curve, with the same amount of overhead. So because you already at 35 plus, you already have an accountant in the house, you have an HR in the house, you have all these things in the house. So from 40 onwards, 40 to 120, your overheads are approximately the same. If you go above 120, you might as well be 1,500, like Norman Foster.
Right.
You get it?
Right.
So these are the 3 thresholds about architectural practices. Now, we consciously and deliberately, we are planning, and the vision is to keep the office at 30, 35. So Richard Rogers, he had his office at 120. He refused many projects that demanded him to go to 250. He refused to change that setup because you lose control of the project when you move.
100%.
You get it? So now at 30, 35, I can walk outside. I know exactly what project everybody's working on. Despina knows exactly. So, obviously you can, when we have people on site, that's another beast altogether. Okay. You can say, but designer, creativity wise, if you go over 28, 30, you start losing the plot.
Yeah. It becomes very difficult to sort of really see what's happening.
Yes. Again, consciously we said, right, okay, we are the 2 partners that you will always find in the room. So this is what we do. That's why the clients actually prefer us, because they know they can WhatsApp us or give us a call 7 p.m. and, we'll answer. And we know the project. Yeah. We know what's happening.
Yeah. You don't have to call someone.
I don't need to call anybody else to tell me what's going on in the project.
No, that's cool. That's cool. Clearly it's a model that's working for you guys. I see everyone super busy outside, which is always a good thing. Yeah. It's a very positive thing for me to see as a practitioner as well. Just to sort of wrap up TTZ, for the people listening in who, like you said very correctly, are professionals, anything that you can share that's going on in the studio at the moment, something exciting which our listeners listeners might find interesting?
I have a fantastic master plan that I'm doing in Romania right now. Cool. Really nice. A city called Timisoara. And Timisoara is like a small Vienna because Romania used to be part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. And it's beautiful. Like, I think it's around 500,000 square meters plot on the river Bega. It's such a pleasure to work both with the Romanians as well with that plot. It's such a wonderful thing. So we're creating, that place was blocked. East part of the city was blocked because the railway was there since the beginning almost of the development of the city. So it never developed. So it was like, you see this beautiful human and he's missing his left arm. So we're trying to recreate that piece that was never developed, because it was blocked. Yeah. So it's one of these wonderful projects and great clients and, everybody's joyful. At the same time, we're doing a villa in the Middle East. I cannot say where. We're actually designing for the parents of the gentleman who has commissioned it to us. And then we need to create and recreate this family environment, but in a super luxe state, and create all these wonderful spaces that the family can come together. So we're predicting where the grandkids are going to be staying. We're trying to make a house that the grandchildren are going to enjoy going.
Yeah.
So it's like beyond the scope, they gave us the brief, but we're like trying to read it beyond. And many, many other projects which I can talk and not talk about. One of them got launched last week, the last couple of weeks. Tara in Alarim Island from Modon. And it's just sold out like completely.
Wow.
And this was a fantastic project we worked with Modon on, and the master planning it and creating a community. This is why I'm proud. I'm not proud because it sold, 2 billion, whatever it sold, they published. I'm proud because it's a fantastic new age Middle East level community where the podium acts as a connecting zone for the residents and as a fantastic garden where they can all walk and meet and spend time and paddle and what have you. So all this landscape and is actually enhancing the community feeling. And this was our intention from the beginning when we were master planning it, and Modon was fantastic to accept it. And this is how it went. So, we have things that are being built and things that are.
Yeah. What I'm hearing and what I think is interesting to me is that these are projects across the studio which are at many various scales, right? On the one hand, you're doing a master plan. On the other hand, you're doing a very bespoke villa. And then on the other hand, you're doing a, mixed use, highly complex type project.
Yeah.
So
how does this work, Owen?
How does this work? I mean, I'm sure it works, but any type of workflows that you have as a studio or you yourself when you look at these projects, how do you approach them?
The workflow is exactly the same in every case.
Okay.
Right? So the only thing you need to understand is what ball you're hitting. Are you hitting a golf ball or are you playing basketball? It's always a ball. What I'm trying to say is that the scale changes and there are consequences about the scale changing, the speed, the movement. So it's always a ball,
I think that's the best line I've heard ever.
It's always a ball. But now, is it spinning? Is it up? Is it down? Is it metal? Is it bouncy? So you need to understand that architecture, obviously, look at Hopkins Architects, I will talk in this podcast with names, so be prepared.
I'm fine with that. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to say very good things anyway. So look at Hopkins Architects. Have they done a velodrome before they did that velodrome in London?
Probably not.
Never.
Yeah.
Okay. Have they done a hospital before they've done this hospital again in London, the Children's Hospital? Never. So how come?
Yeah.
What kind of architect are you? Can you do this? Can you do that? Are you master planner? You must be a master planner only. Can you do retail? You must be a retailer. No, I'm a real architect.
Yeah.
All the letters capital of the real. Maybe you don't want to call me a capital letters on the architect, but the real is definitely capital. I'm a real architect. My job is to understand, and if you allow me the time, I'll understand and I'll give you my perception about how that space should be. So this distinction, this delineation between suddenly this unified thing that the architect also used to be the master builder, by the way, 200 years ago. He was the same guy who was actually good. So now, no, you need to split yourself in like 35 different personas to present yourself that, oh yeah, you know what, I'm a really hospital man. Okay, I've done 10,000 rooms in hotels, all right? Literally. I've designed 10,000 rooms in, I think, 30 different hotels in my career. Am I a hotel expert?
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah. How many rooms? No. For X group, which I'm not going to name, I'm not a hotel expert. I need to be doing only hotels. You get it?
I see. Right. Okay.
Right. I've literally designed, and in this office, 5-year-old office, we've designed here around 500,000 square meters of, maybe 1 million square meters of retail. All right. In my previous life, 2 million built. Am I a retail expert?
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah, no.
Makes sense.
You get it?
Yeah.
They try to create a niche. That's not a niche. That's not a niche. This is open field proper, yeah?
Yeah.
Just that because you sat in that corner and you're only working in that field, that doesn't mean that you're an expert on that field, yeah? We can all work that field.
True. I feel like I have to wear the hat of the devil's advocate.
Go ahead.
Just briefly.
Yeah.
Right? So given, I suppose, complexity, that's maybe why these niches kind of happen, because
There are niches, don't get me wrong, there are niches that are very special.
Right.
Transport,
Yeah.
healthcare. There are things you need to really know. Yeah, you need to really know.
So I suppose the question is then, when there are these niches, and especially in today's world, because there's so much innovation that's happening in design in these specific niches, as an office like TTZ, how do you sort of balance pushing design and innovation across these multiple niches all at once?
It's always architecture at the end of the day. So innovation in what sense? Technological innovation or social innovation?
Either. I mean, when you get a brief, for example, are you looking to kind of push boundaries over there? And then when it comes to actually producing drawings, walkthroughs, whatever it is.
Okay, I'll answer the best way I can. I have a psychosis with context.
Psychosis with context.
Yes.
All right.
So I think it's impossible to design in the void.
100%.
And people design in the void all the time.
That is true. They shouldn't, but that is true.
For me, I need to create my imaginary world and the imaginary characters that will populate that space. I need to create my Game of Thrones, my Lord of the Rings, my Star Wars. It has to have a context. Where is it? How is it? How many people are going to, what's going to happen with it in 20 years from now? So all this, it's a scenario that describes what needs to happen. Now, in terms of innovation is overused and overrated as a word. What does it mean? It means something new. Is it necessary to provide something new all the time for the sake of providing something new?
Not necessarily, no.
Okay. What are we? Are we in a race? Who's going to make the most shiny object or something? I will introduce innovation where it's necessary, where it has to do with sustainability, where it has to do with, they're also with people that we're working with us. It's not TTZ the only, okay, we're running it, we're LDC, but I'm working with MEP guys. So they need to come up and we're going to have the discussion. Working with good structural engineers, we're going to have this discussion. So innovation for me is overrated. Innovation is there to serve. I'm not there to serve innovation on what I'm giving.
Right. Makes sense.
That's my take.
No, makes
on
sense.
This. Yeah,
makes sense. I'm very excited to ask you my next question because I feel like you'll have some very strong opinions about this.
Unfortunately, I have very strong opinions about everything. This is my curse, I think. Yeah.
So the question is, when it comes to design trends, right? Design trends, things that are kind of cyclical, they come and they go, etc., etc. What do you not like that's happening at the moment?
All right. One of the things I don't like, which we just talked about it, is this filtering of architects into partial roles.
Right.
This, first of all, it destroys the chance for architects to develop, which means that if you're 40 and you've been doing 40 all your life, you've been doing hotels or something, that's it, you're done,
Right.
So that's a mistake. It shouldn't be like that. And clients are becoming so, like single-minded about, I need the best one that does villas. Okay, So this is one. My second problem with industry trends is the Excel to building.
Excel to building. Okay, yeah,
right?
I get what you mean. But explain more.
I will explain immediately. Somebody in some consultancy that has never visited a site is thinking with examples that have already been completed, that he has in his library or she has in her library, is making a business plan based on an Excel with already executed projects. So projects that they already know.
Yep.
And this is where innovation
dies
and doesn't happen. So you have this consultancy and the owner and they say, like, what are we going to do there? We need, And he goes, you need to have a hotel. It needs to be 253 rooms. It needs to be this. This is going to be 4-star, blah, 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 blah. So the brief actually completely strangles any form of creativity. Now, is there a need for a brief? Absolutely. Is there a need for a business plan? Absolutely. Again, this complete isolation of the business plan and business plan being declared the Quran or the Bible of the thing, and then everybody has to obey. This is a mistake. You miss all these opportunities that appear on each site, that appear with its client, that the creative part of our design can actually combine forces of the client. If the client is a business owner of something else. And we can say, you know what, why don't you bring these businesses here? We can open that here. We can have some cafes. So, the allowance of actually exploring a bit further the brief on the initial stages is only positive for the developer. Okay, so that's one. Excel building pipeline. And of course, the main problem with the trends, which I'm sure you will agree, and I'm sure everybody agrees, is renders before plans. Okay?
That's a big one.
This
AI culture.
Forget the AI. It has no essence. There is no script behind. This is not a book that turned into a poem that turned into a movie. This is nothing. Yeah. And I mean, I'm sure I sound so bad to the younger architects. I say, this old guy and he's saying all this. No, you don't understand. They cannot be built. Number one. Most of them. Yeah. Number two, they lead all the industry to commit that way. Because I'll give you a couple of examples with names again. Vitra Fire Station. You know it?
Yes, okay. Very much.
Do you know that is a fire station?
No, I do not.
Yeah, that's why it's called Vitra Fire Station.
Correct.
Do you know that she made it, God rest her soul, for a fire station?
I did not.
Yeah. So there was a fire in 1981 in Vitra, the village there between Switzerland and Germany. So they called the competition, blah, blah, blah. Zaha won it. 92, I think she won it. They built it. 1 year later, the firemen left the building because they couldn't use it. And they went back to a shed.
It's functional. It works. It gives us what we want.
Yeah. Okay. Miss Van der Rohe Pavilion, before they got destroyed, before they rebuilt it. Civil War, Spanish Civil War. Battles are happening in Barcelona, blah, blah. The anarchists take that part of Barcelona. Beautiful modernism, the best thing that ever happened. They say, okay, we're going to put our command post in the Barcelona pavilion. They left after a week. They couldn't use it because it's just a sample, a visual sample. There are no spaces you can use. And I'll take it one step further. Miss Van der Rohe, whenever you see him in a private photograph, he's not sitting in his chairs. He's sitting in a grandfather's chair, smoking a cigar.
True.
So we need to distinguish between the image and the reality that people want to live in. That's my take.
Interesting. I happen to really like the Barcelona Pavilion a lot.
Of course. Yeah. It's been rebuilt, by the way. The roof is another, I think it's 40 centimeters instead of 25.
Yeah.
But these are prime examples of fantastic architecture. They took the world forward. Now, you cannot get me wrong on this.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
They opened the doors to another universe. But we need to be so careful. They didn't come up. Even Zaha didn't just throw an image. She designed something. There was a story behind.
Right.
Okay.
I get you. Yeah. So if I am a younger architect,
okay,
who's thinking, all right, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Maybe school has failed me in terms of me being able to develop a narrative. And if I want to learn that now, where would you point these passionate designers to look at? Either a book, a course, a movie, whatever it may be.
It's very difficult for me to answer this. I'll tell you why. Because I never listened to anybody.
Okay.
So I listened to people I was working with while I was working with them. And while after they gained their achievements, my respect and stuff. So it was a process. But what I can definitely advise anyone is go to the stationery store and order pencils. 2B, 3B, 4B. I freak out every day when I see in an architect's table a pencil which is HB, HB.
Yeah.
Are you an accountant? Do you have a checklist you need to... What is wrong with you? Get the 2B.
I don't think I've ever laughed this much on a podcast episode yet.
My pleasure. Get a tracing paper. Put the tracing paper, Mr. Student, face down, not up. Not like it unrolls. It's not like that. You cut it and you put it face down. Put it over the drawing. Stick it. And then sketch softly your plan. Then sketch it again with another piece of paper. And again, and again, and again. Make sure you understand every line that you put on that paper and make sure it makes sense. Stop producing garbage on AutoCAD just because you have a job to do and you have to deliver 3 drawings. 3 drawings, fine. You have to deliver them by the end of the day, also fine. Print them in A4, put them next to you. Trace them with your 2B pencil. Make sure you understood them. Provide a correction to your boss or to your senior. Tell them, listen, I found a better solution for this door, for this hallway, for this bathroom, for this toilet seat. Nothing is beneath you. Do everything. Draw the staircase. Learn it. You don't have to have a ruler. You don't have to have a triangle. You don't have to measure. Just trace your drawings. What you're going to learn every day like that is impossible to be learned via a mouse and a screen and all these things. The pencil is your soul immediately depicted on the paper. I cannot give a better advice than this.
I agree. I'm almost tempted to start sketching now myself.
Man, it's so beautiful, and then you move on. The 2B will give you the opportunity to be darker or lighter, and then you get some color into it. It's really nice. It's really the only way, basically.
No, we're obviously big advocates for sketching and trace paper, for sure, 100%. At this point in the episode, though, I feel like we have a pretty good sense of who you are as a designer, who TTZ as a firm group is overall, what your values are. And we know that in a very short span, in a relatively short span of 5 years, you've kind of grown. And you did speak about off-air, how as a studio, you're kind of now in a very good place, so to speak, in terms of your processes, et cetera, et cetera. So I almost want to ask now, what is the future, or what are you working towards as an architect yourself, as TTZ, as a group? What are you moving towards?
Okay. First of all, as I told you, we grew very carefully and very consistently. We're really, really careful. We're really careful financially. We're really careful with our staff. We have, which is not our staff, it's our colleagues. I call everybody, nobody has titles in here. Everybody's an architect and everybody's respected and treated equally. This is very important. Everybody who enters, even an intern who enters this door, is a person of value, and I speak to them exactly as I'm speaking to you or I'm speaking to my partner. I demand from them to honor the 5 or 6 years they suffered in any university and dedicated their lives. So from me, this is what they're getting. And I wanted to speak about how from Despina as well, she's exactly the same like me on this, how we train them and we love them and we push them forward. And of course, if you go outside, I'll introduce you to employee number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6, number 7. All of these numbers are here still in the office 5 years later. We don't hire quickly. We don't fire quickly. We don't do these things. I was listening to Ben Corrigan the other day. He was saying about how it's so difficult to create an atmosphere and a culture in the office. I really don't know if I have a culture in the office. Ben is really an angel in comparison to me. But what I do know, because I was thinking about this question, I'm not saying, I don't know if I have a culture in the office, but what I do know is everybody knows that both Despina and myself, we are here, we are present, we're in front when the trouble begins. We take care of them. We take care of them as architects, as professionals. We take care of them as individuals with whatever problem they might come up with, or not problem, but a request like, I have a wedding in India and I need to be away for 5 days. And so, yeah, we'll take care of that as well. So we create this environment where everybody feels able to grow with honesty and truth. Now, when I say truth, I need to pick up another subject about TTZ. There's an ethos question maybe that I would like to answer. TTZ is all about everything we do is based around the truth. And when I say truth, I want to expand on it a bit. Truth in the depth of time. So we're true on answering the brief. We will be true on choosing the materials. We will be true on designing the materials. And we will be truthful on telling the client if he's wrong, which is also...
It's a scary thing to do.
It's a thing that in the Middle East is not, let's say, common, maybe. Or, at least this is where we're positioning ourselves. We are hired to protect you and your interests and your project. So, you know what? We will speak up. It's not that we're going to have a fight every day over anything. No, but we are here to protect the concept and the render you loved in the beginning.
Correct.
So there is something you loved in the beginning, whether it was a plan of ours or a section or a render, we're going to take it all the way. And that's why we provide lead consultancy and we have supervision, all these things. That's the whole point of that thing. It's not financial. We're the truth holders. Now, it sounds ridiculous, but it is on that only on that project, on whatever project we do, there's a level of love that goes with our child, which is our project. And this is our care all the way to the end. Now, this is what's important for us. Now, for what's next for TTZ, it's a very difficult question. I've been through 100 crises. I've seen offices come and go. I believe that we're stable. We will continue upgrading our staff, our own staff, the existing staff. Keep training them, making them better. We even hired a full-time AI consultant now to support us.
Very cool.
We believe that it's going to be like everybody's going to have like an accountant and an AI consultant now very soon.
It's funny you mentioned this. Literally, in our office, this week, I came across this term called an AI advocate. And apparently this is now a title which people hold.
All right.
Not necessarily a designer, but someone who knows...
No, he's not a designer, no.
Yeah, someone who knows AI. And the whole purpose of this individual would be to go to any business, be it a design studio, be it a travel agency, whatever, and basically go to every person, just like an HR person, and say, where do you spend a lot of time? And how can I...
Exactly. This is exactly what we did last month. We started exactly this process. So now we have systems in place, and now we're trying to record the systems, lean the systems, and then if we manage the repetitive work or the administrative work, which is around 45 to 50% of the work that we're doing right now, if we manage to limit it down to 10% or 15% via AI, it's not the money we're going to save. It's the 30% time we're going to save to put back into creativity.
Right.
So in our eyes, AI will be a release tool of our creativity energy and not the other way around. So, these are the actions we're doing in order to get the office stronger, healthier, not larger, but just stronger, very, very fit.
Your office can run a marathon.
I'll run a marathon in under 2 hours. That's the target.
Awesome. Well, I feel like we can chat forever. There's so many things that we can talk about, but I feel like this is a good point to conclude our episode for today and to close with our aForm tradition.
Okay.
Which, if you've heard our previous episodes, and I think you have, it's basically a question that's been asked by one of our previous guests.
Okay.
Not knowing who the next guest is.
All right.
And to make things worse, we put all the questions into a little bank and then we kind of just...
so it's not certain what you're gonna draw. Okay.
Yeah. So sometimes it's silly. Sometimes it's very philosophical. Sometimes it's cynical. Who knows?
Oh my God.
I feel like we're over the cynical phase, but I'm told by Trustee Jovel that you have a good question today. So let's see. It's a fun question. I think it's a fun question.
Okay, let's go.
So are you aware of the game Love, Marry, Kill? Okay. So basically, I'm going to give you 3 items.
Okay.
Or 3 categories.
Who do I love? Who do I marry? Who do I kill?
Exactly.
Oh my God.
But it is architectural styles.
Yeah, I understand.
So the 3 categories you have, I don't know how you're going to answer this. The 3 categories you have is postmodernism, Gothic revival,
oh my God,
and Art Deco.
Okay.
So Love, Marry, Kill, postmodernism, Gothic revival, Art Deco.
I definitely murder Gothic revival.
Okay. Sorry, Gaudi, but...
Yeah. So that's no problem. Gaudi is not so Gothic actually, but Gothic is a bit darker than Gothic revival can die immediately. No problem with me.
Okay. So then your Love and Marry.
My mistress is definitely Art Deco.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay.
That's where I'm spending my secret evenings with.
Okay.
And I will marry postmodernism with the hope that I can change it a bit. We don't have to put pink hats on top of buildings, It's like let's calm down a bit.
Yeah. All right. Cool. That's a very good answer. It's a very good question and a very good answer. So
thank you.
That's awesome. I want to take this opportunity to thank you for
I thank you so much for the time you spent with us, and you for very interesting questions, and I hope I didn't insult anybody, because it's my permanent fear, to insult anybody.
No, I think you're good.
All right.
I think everyone's fine. I think a lot of people listening to the episode have gained a lot of transparent insight, which is what we're always after. And I keep telling everyone that the show is only possible because of people like yourself being transparent. I feel like we are sort of elevating the industry with the show that we're doing. So thank you so much for coming on. We'd love to have you on in the future.
Thank you, Alan. Thank you so much.
Awesome. And for the rest of you guys, we will catch you guys next week. Fellow aFormer, thank you so much for your time. If this episode added any value to you, please share it with anyone who may benefit. If you want to carry on the discussion, please get in touch with us over socials. We are at aForm Show on the gram and hello@aform.studio on email. That is at aForm Show on the gram and hello@aform.studio on email. Until next time, stay inspired.